welcome to FM Tahiti. I'm Pelham, and we've returned for a couple of games. So we've got the Teitaroa Island Reefers coming up next. This is the team my brother used to play as when we were doing the network saves, so they're kind of fairly unreasonable hatred of the team, so we're going to have to do our best to absolutely thump them. And I'll play one more match probably after this. I'll just show you the schedule as well so we can see what's been going on. So you can see we've got Teitaroa up next at home at the Tuamotun Reef. The last match I recorded was the one against the Tahiti Island Athletic in the Inter-Island Cup in the quarterfinals where we got knocked out. Immediately after that we went and played Puka Puka, the Disappointment Islands, in Tuamotun at the Silt Base. One of our fans travelled a fairly large distance to come and see us get destroyed. It was honestly the worst this team has performed, as you can kind of see. Like, it's literally, that is the worst scoreline we've had. But it was also just generally a really bad performance. So the entire first half went by, and we hadn't had a single shot on goal, and they'd had about 12. And as you can see from the scoreline up here, they were 3 goals up less than half an hour into it. We gradually started to come back into it, if I'm being kind of really generous, in the second half, but all we did by that, I mean, is we got a few shots, and then Jordan Aaron got sent off, and we just held on for the rest of it. So that wasn't great. It was a truly worrying performance. Then we played Union Rematara in the Mutiny Trophy Group A, and we thumped them 4-0, completely returned to form, but we still had a player sent off again. Got Seth Waite, the right winger, sent off this time. It's quite possible that maybe I should get stuck in off, but I do actually like it when they get stuck in. We managed to hold on and get that win anyway, and in the trophy we are in seventh. We're in second place with 7 points. That's what I should say. So we beat the Wings, drew with the Lagunas, which I think was this match all the way over there. So we're not in the best position. Then we went back into the league and we beat Uapoa Catholic 3-1. We didn't actually play that well, but we were just kind of clinical. Got away with it, really. So now we've got Teitaroa, and then I'll probably skip Shellfish, because we played them before on camera, and come back for the Mutons match. But for Teitaroa, if we look at the league, bless me, slow there, they're currently top, but we've got a game in hand. So if we beat them now, we go top, and we still have a game in hand. So it's key. If we don't win, then we're still in it, essentially. It's not the end of the world. So Chisholm's injured. A lot of people are kind of injured or banned, essentially. Got a huge amount of options there. That's terrible. He's injured. Take him off. Jordan Aaron on. Leclerc now has 2 goals. He actually came good recently. He was very kind of predator in the box when it came to some of the corners and free kicks, so he's just picking up loose balls and blasting them back in, but he was doing the job. So maybe he's not terrible. So the Reefers playing 4-4-2. So the Reefers play on Teitaroa Island, hence the name Teitaroa in the team name. There's a resort on the island called the Brando. So Marlon Brando, when he was filming Mutiny on the Bounty, kind of fell in love with the island, which is one of the places they used for it. So he took out a big lease on it. He married a local woman, had his family in French Polynesia, and then after he died, it was eventually turned into a kind of full luxury resort. And by full luxury resort, I was looking at the prices earlier on. So if you just look for the Brando, French Polynesia, you can look at these prices as well in case you fancy treating yourself and booking a holiday. Based on staying for a couple of nights, just sit on your own, no double occupancy, so you've treated yourself to a holiday all on your own, it would cost you about €2,500 a night to stay there. You've got to stay there for at least 2 nights. So that's £5,000 if you're doing the all-inclusive. You save yourself a couple of €100 if you go bed and breakfast. But, you're treating yourself, so you're going to go all-inclusive. They've gone into the lead as well. I was just trying to ignore that. I was hoping maybe something had gone wrong. Just so many opportunities to get rid of that, and they just didn't do it. Disappointed, yet not surprised. Team is a little bit fragile, I think. We'll see how they get on. It's not away from us yet. So yeah, if you want to stay there 2 nights, €2,500 per night, so we're already on £5,000. If you're trying to only stay in there for a couple of nights, then you unfortunately won't get the complimentary air transfer there. So you either have to get there by boat or get there by... Oh, really? Ooh, Theo Maru. He looked like a good goal, but he also looked like bad keeping, so... Oh no, to be fair, I think the defending was worse, they just watched it. They're not very good at closing down in that kind of instant situation. Our strikers are pretty good at doing it at the other end, but our defenders are pretty bad at that end. So yeah, you stay in there 2 nights, you paid £5,000, you've still got to get there. If you're staying there for I think 7 nights or more, then you get a complimentary air flight there. So they call it Air Teitaroa. So actually there's Air Tahiti, which would get you presumably to the mainland of Tahiti. And then you'd have to get another plane, Air Teitaroa, over to their little airfield that they've got, or get a boat over to their little dock that they've got. Assuming you're going by plane, it'll cost you about, I think it's €450 again for the round trip. So also there's little taxes you've got to pay here and there. So let's call it €5,500 to stay there for 2 nights. There we go, Leclerc. See, he's on fire now. He just needed a little bit of opportunity, a little bit of faith. Reasonably well finished. Kind of similar to their goals as well, though, just slightly from distance through a crowd. The keeper doesn't really stand a chance at either end. I don't think I'm going to be treating myself to a trip to the Brando at Teitaroa Island anytime soon. That seems a little bit steep. But it does also look absolutely beautiful. For that, £5,500 in euros. Might as well just say £5,500. It's more or less the same now with the exchange rate. You do get complimentary hire of things like a bicycle to get around the island, snorkeling gear, kayaking gear, things like that. You can get your meals sent over to you, so you can just have them in your luxury private beach villa. And it does look pretty sweet. Also, you've got to try and get to Tahiti as well, so you've got to put the cost of those flights on top of everything else. And they're a couple of grand, so it's probably about £7,000 just to stay for a couple of days. Better showing? Let's shout at them. They loved it. That's what they need. They just need a kick up the arse. Shout at them. No point making any subs because the bench is so weak right now. It's honestly terrible. We've got Weaver who scored that magnificent own goal. We've got a greyed out goalkeeper. We've got one of our favourite midfielders, Daniel Naran, who's just injured. He shouldn't really come on. I don't think we've got a striker on there. We've got is it 2 loans? No, just 1 loan. 19-year-old from AS Chance. Kevin Webb, who's our left winger, who I don't think he's played much in any of the matches I've recorded. I played him in one of the ones in between the last match and this, and he was just terrible. He just kept getting caught on the ball, dithering. So I don't really want to keep him around. I'm still scouting players in the meantime. Go on, Jordan. Oh. Yeah, set him off, ref. God will do. But yeah, nothing else has gone on like transfer-wise apart from us just carrying on scouting. Henderson. Yeah, just a little bit of scouting to try and build up that list for when we're ready. And I think McIntyre, our right back, he was on a youth contract, and apart from today, he's actually been playing pretty good. So just put him on a full-time one so he can train a bit more. What do? Swap these two around. See, there's not much I really don't want to bring Chris Webb on. It doesn't really feel like a situation where bringing on a defender is going to help. Maybe I'll just bring Chris Webb on the last 15 minutes, more or less, last 10. Go on, this is your last chance. So this isn't the kind of thumping I wanted to give them. It's not gone exactly to plan. Puka Puka, I think, were in third before. They're winning as well, so they're in good form. They beat us recently. Madre de Dios thumping Terahi. It's a beautiful save by their goalkeeper, one-handed. Stats-wise, we're not that different. They're just taking the chances. The chances haven't been great either. They've all been quite far out for both of us. It's not like we've had anyone running through onto goal and getting one-on-ones or anything like that. It's just poor defending or shots from range. Yeah, I don't think unless... No, we're not winning this. Unless... What's it in? It's offside anyway, I think. It was a bit of a waste. Oh, reckless. I think he didn't manage to connect with anybody or anything. It's the only saving grace of that kind of tackle. What was that? Did Dumas just give up? He's like, if I clear it, you'll have to blow it, which he did. Just called it for us. Okay, I'm going to pause there and come back for the next match. I'll probably play the one in between and then come back for the next, just to move us along a bit. Okay, so we're back to play the Tuamotun. I'll just show you the match played in between as well. So obviously we lost against the Reefers. Then we bounced back with a win against the Shellfish. We beat them 4-2 this time instead of 4-1. A bit of an interesting match in that Seth Waite scored a bit of a screamer, which was good. Daniel Naran got sent off again, so that's another Naran sent off. And then when I looked at all the other matches that were played on that same day, every match had at least one sending off. So I don't think it was Daniel. I think it was something in the air, some kind of weird blood moon or something that made them all go a little bit crazy for that match. Tackles flying in everywhere across French Polynesia that day. But we've got the Mutons next. The players are generally quite tired because after the Reefer match, 12 of them got called up for international duty, which wasn't really that helpful for us. And then I had to do lots of those congratulations on getting called up to the national team things, which went well for most of them, but not all. And there's a few kind of first goals as well for the national team. I had to congratulate them, and that went generally well. Williamson, kind of striker who hadn't up until that point scored at all, also got his first goal for the Austral Islands. I congratulated him, and he said he just wanted to get his head down and carry on scoring. Which I thought too right, considering you've not done any scoring for us yet, and we're paying you wages. And then he scored against the Mangareva Shellfish. Wasn't an amazing goal, it was just kind of a tap-in. But he did score. Didn't do much of anything else, but he did score. He's only really playing because Chisholm's still injured, the same today. Oh well. One day I'll replace them. So we're playing the Mutons. They're from an island in Marquesa. They almost got that one with Ulrich. I looked at Ulrich as a potential signing, and he came out as being quite bad. Oh, off he goes. That is such a two-footed lunge from behind on the edge of their penalty area. Okay, this changes things. Henderson can go on to attack. Support. I'll have him. Do you want to swap these? We'll leave it for the moment, see what happens. Might have to change one of these duties. It's a definite red card. Williamson. So he scored for the national team, scored for us, and then in his next match gets sent off for a pretty wild lunge. Thinking if I get any more red cards, I may well have to just get stuck in off. It's not going to go well. So yeah, Mutons, as I was saying before, they're an island in Marquesa. They used to be, many years ago, it was a leper colony island, if I remember correctly. So it's just where they sent all the lepers, and eventually when they all died off, they decided to use the island for other things. Mainly putting sheep to graze on, I think. And now it's got a problem with lots of feral sheep denuding all the foliage, just munching away on it. It's not the only island in Marquesa that's got that problem. So if you watch the extra set of videos I've done that just go through the islands and show you where the different teams are and tell you a little bit about each island, you notice there's a common theme in Marquesa in that there are lots of islands where they put goats and sheep or horses on, and then they just sort of run wild and eat everything because, there's not much in the way of natural predators for them. If you leave them on an island full of green stuff, you're going to get more sheep and less green stuff. It's basic maths and biology. So yeah, that's why they're the Mutons, as a nod to the sheep. And they've got kind of like a pickaxe style logo because of some of the archaeology finds that were also found on the island from back in the day. Weaver's challenge was good then. Fantastic. It looked a little bit kind of, I say it was good and then not fantastic. I just mean it was kind of dicey, considering you've already had a player sent off. Need is just a screamer from distance. Waite scored a really good one in the last match. I think again it might partly just be because you can score pretty much from anywhere, even if you've got like a 2 for long shots currently. But it was a penalty, of course it is. It looks like he elbowed him, to me. No cards, it can't have been an actual elbow. There we go. To be expected. Apparently we need to rethink because we're being carved apart far too easily. I don't think a penalty counts as being carved apart. That's different. That's a defensive error, rather than them being sort of incisive with their attacking. Although we are being carved apart a little bit too easy now. Go on, Bennett. I feel a bit sorry for Bennett. He's got a good name, Hamish, but he also has a terrible set of defenders in front of him sometimes. Go on, Richards. Dive in. I know I told Weaver off for it, but you can dive in all you want because you're my favourite player. Let's pull back a bit. I zoom the camera in to get a better view, and it's just on the wings sometimes I don't see what goes on. It just becomes a bit of a mystery down this end. Yeah, just swept that one in. Don't think we'll watch that replay. To do. Who do I have on the bench? Thinking half time I might change things a little bit. Maybe I'll push up the wingers. Make them both attacking. The target man, Henderson on support again. then just go for it. Go on, Aaron. Get one back for us. There we go. There's hope. Jordan and Aaron, there's hope. Apparently it was magical. I don't think so. It was opportunistic. It was good. I'll not complain. Don't think it's magic yet. No red cards for anyone else today. It's just us getting the red cards. Yeah, I'm going to make a big change tactically, I think. I think I'll put the fullbacks back to no nonsense. So they can stop carving us open at the back, apparently. Well, it's fair, our fullbacks aren't exactly getting forward all the time. They're holding the shape reasonably well at that point. Go on, Hamish. So if I put the league table on, this is where we're at the moment. So we've still got a game in hand. It stands, because this is live, I'm assuming, so we've still got that game in hand. Teitaroa have got 4 points on us as it stands. So they're still ahead even if we win our game in hand that we've got, ignoring this match. So we could really do with at least getting a point, but it's not happening, is it? Passionate. Man down. Man down. They don't care? Okay. You're gonna care. You don't get something, you're all getting shouted at. Man well up. Richard's up. Attackman support. Attack. No nonsense. Box to box. Still wanting to get box to box? No. What's Mazzala do again? Get them both to be ball. I just want them to get the ball and get it out. Go for it. Be proud, or at least slightly less disappointed in you all. This could work really badly. It's not a tactic I've tried before. You had to. I'm really loving 4-4-2 on FM19. I think it's been years since I've actually played a 4-4-2 Football Manager. I think I probably would have to go back to like Football Manager 14. Riches is on a run. That was overly hit. Yeah. Riches would have been better off just having a shot. So yeah, it's been a long time since I've been able to use a 4-4-2 and feel generally okay with it. I think in sort of 14 to 18 it was all about various different combinations or asymmetric. Never tended to use strikerless. But sometimes I have 3 up front or 2 inside forwards, or I think it's called the Ponta de Lança formation, where you've got 1 striker and then 2 attacking midfielders behind them, or 2 shadow strikers just behind them, or something like that. Just clear it. Stop prattling about. Quite like those combinations. But for some reason I could never really get 4-4-2 to work like I thought it should. Whereas with FM19, the way the tactical interface is, it's actually, I feel a lot more in control of what I'm telling them to do. And I know it's probably just because the tactical stuff's been simplified, being kind, to make it easier. You probably do all the stuff that I'm currently doing with the tactic in FM18, for example. But it just didn't feel like it was working for me, or I was just losing. Something was lost in translation for me. But I quite like this kind of with-without setup, because it goes all the way back to like the old Champ Manager tactical settings, the kind of wib-wob, as it was known. Tactics with the ball, tactics without the ball, and you could do it for each kind of quadrant on the pitch and set it for both, so you could really play around with the shape. And obviously that just got abused by everyone tactically. But this is a little bit more like that. It's a bit more sensible, I guess, to have that division between the two. Put weight on. There's no point risking Chisholm. It's not like we're going to win. Let's rest Jansen. Apparently they're all frustrated. They shouldn't be. They're winning 3-1. Comfortably. Twice the shots. More possession. Ooh. Keeper fell over again afterwards, I think. Zach wants to be substituted because he's exhausted, running around as the lone striker. He doesn't really run around. I don't think I've seen him run. At any point, he's just stood next to the goal half the time. Go on, Henderson. Oh, he's running. I said it and he runs. Oh, beautiful work, Henderson. Take it back. You do run. It's number 10 for Henderson. To be honest, beforehand, right at the start of the season, I wasn't convinced he was going to do anything, but 10's not bad. Obviously not all in the league, but 10 goals are 10 goals. Would have taken the offer of him being a 10-goal striker at the start of the season. I do really hope that this isn't him just peaking and that's it, those are his 10, but I mean, 3-2's not much better than 3-1 in the long run. At least we showed a little bit of fight. A lot more fight in us with one man down than was when we were playing Puka Puka and they just trashed us 3-0. Also a bit more fight than when we played the Reefers as well. A little bit happy with this performance compared to the first one. Wait. Get it in. We're done. Well, thanks for watching. I'm going to play a few more matches and come back. Actually, what I'll do is I'll go and look at the table once I've said this to them. Not good enough, we should have won that. We're acting well to a bit of tough love. So there we are, 1 game in hand. We're 4 points behind. And with 14 games played, we're actually at the halfway point. So there's only another 14 games in the league to actually play. So, kept up the same rate, end up on 52. I don't think that's going to be enough to win the title. It might be enough to get us the playoffs. We'll end it there. Thanks very much, and I will see you in the next episode.